Hey folks, this is AppShocker. This is the 6th video on Swift programming for iOS. Today we're going to create an app that will display a photo from your photo library stored on your iOS device. In order to do that, we will need 3 elements. First, a UIImagePickerController. Second, a UI button. And third, a UI view. Okay, let's just create our project. Click on Next. Let's just call our project My Photo Picker. And click on Next. Create it. There we go. Good. Let's just go to our main storyboard. Let's just click here on Any, make it a little slimmer so that it looks better. As I told you previously, we're going to have to use a button. Let's just look for a button. Write down button here, and here we go. Here we already have a button. Use it, and let's call this button Open Photo Library. Good. Now, as you know it, in order to use a button, we need to create a function. Let's just do it. Click on Control, drag and drop it over here. And it's not an outlet, it's an action. Let's call it Open Photo Library. And click on Connect. Okay, so as you can see, this is our function. Good. Let's just close this here. Let's go to our View Control Swift class. Okay, here we have our Open Photo Library function. In order to be able to open a photo library and to extract a photo from that photo library, we need to have something that is called a UIImagePickerController. Let's just create one. Here we create our variable. Let's call it the photo picker, and here it comes. It is a UIImagePickerController. Let's just initialize it here. Good. Now, in order to use this image picker, UIImagePickerController, in order to be exact, we need to place a delegate to. Let's just do it here, the photo picker delegate. And it needs to be self. I don't have any time to explain to you how delegation in iOS works, but basically said, it is a design pattern where one object delegates another object in order to do things, basically said. But in another tutorial, I will gonna talk about that more in detail. Let's just take into account that we just use this delegate here in order to retrieve our images, and when we're done selecting one, we also need to give information which one we already picked. So in order to implement a delegate, we need to go up here. In this case, as it is a UIImagePickerController, there is something which is called a UIImagePickerController delegate. Okay. Furthermore, what we also need to have is a UI navigation controller. Let's just write it down here this way. Controller delegate. So as you can see, also here, before we were using this delegate, this line of code here was highlighted in red because something was missing. Now, as we use these two delegates, it's no longer red, so that means that it works. For instance, you can also double check this if you, for instance, remove one of these two delegates. For instance, let's just remove this one here, and as you can see now, Xcode also highlights that something is wrong here. Okay, let's just go back and put it back. Oops. As you can see, Now everything is fine. The same holds true if you, for instance, remove the UIImagePickerController delegate. As you can see here again, Xcode in this case says that something is missing here too. So let's put it back where it was, and very well, everything is working fine. Now we're done with the delegates. Okay. So, however, we're not done yet, because a UIImagePickerController also needs to have a property that is called a source type. Let's just use it here. So we have our photo picker, and the photo picker also has a property that is called source type. Let's just check out what a source type is actually doing here. Let's just jump to the definition. So as you can see, the source type is by default a UIImagePickerController source type photo library. So this is pretty good. So however, I'm interested in what exactly can we choose from. Here you have UIImagePickerController source type. Let's just go to the definition here, and then we jump up here. As you can see, we have an enum, and in that enum we can select from a photo library, a camera, and a saved photos album. So in this case, as you can see, we're interested in the photo library here. So what we have to do in this case is this here, equals dot photo library. Okay, and that's it. So now we made sure that our ImagePickerController has its delegate set, and it also knows what kind of source type it needs. But furthermore, what we also need to do is we also have to display that ImagePickerController to the user. So let's just do it this way here. It's called self, and now here it comes, present view controller. So also in this case here, I'm not going to talk about what a view controller is in general, but it's very important for iOS program in general, and I will talk about it in detail in the future tutorial. Just for this tutorial, bear in mind it is necessary in order to display the content of a photo library to the user. Now here in this case, the parameter requires a view controller to present a UI view controller. In this case here, our UIImagePickerController is also of that type. So we're going to use our photo picker, place it here. We say animated true, and completion in this case null, because we don't need to do anything else. So this is basically it, what we have here. Let's just make it a little bit more clear to you. Yeah. So, and that's basically it. Let's just run the application and let's just check out how's it working. So, okay, this is our app. Let's just click on Open Photo Library. Now it takes a little, and we are also asked whether we allow that app to access our photos. In this case, okay. And there you go. So you see now we have our photos here, and let's just go to the moments, and you can see we have 5 pictures in our photo library. And if we click on one, nothing happens. So, and as you can see, this is something that we don't want to do, because it doesn't make much sense just to check out our photo library and we cannot select any photo. In order to display a specific photo to the user, we also need to use a different function. So, in order to find out what kind of function we actually need, we need to check out the delegates we were using. In this case, the UIImagePickerController delegate. So, let's just go to this delegate here, jump to definition, and let's just check out what we actually have here and what we could actually use. So let's just check out. So as you can see down here, a UIImagePickerController delegate is of type object protocol, and here it says the picker does not dismiss itself, the client dismisses it in these callbacks. The delegate will receive one or the other, but not both, depending whether the user confirms or cancels. So, as you can see, here we have a function that is called ImagePickerController and did finish picking media with info. So this sounds pretty good, and we're going to use this here. Let's just copy paste it, go back, and let's just place this function here. So we need to create it here. So as you can see, we also need to analyze the parameters required for this function. So you can see we need a picker, which you already have, and this is the method it's called, and we also need to have, we also get an info. We also have an info parameter, and it's of type object, any object. So in order to display an image, we also need to think about how we want to actually display it to the user. So up to now we just have an image pick controller that makes sure that we can access our photos in the photo library, and we have a function that makes sure that something will happen when we click on a picture. But where exactly should it be displayed? This is something that we still haven't done yet, because let me explain it to you this way. Let's just create our app again. So as you can see, we want to display a photo to our user. So here, this is just a view controller where we have different images from our photo library. But if we click on it, selecting anything or clicking on cancel, nothing happens, because we need to implement a logic that makes sure that this photo will be displayed somewhere in this place here. So what we need to do is to create a UI view. It is not just any UI view, it is a UI image view. So as you can see, there are also different views provided by iOS. So I'm not going to talk about the specifics. This is also a topic for a future tutorial. Just bear in mind, in order to display an image, we need to have an image view here. Okay, let's just create one. So first of all, we need to have access to this UI image view from different methods. As a result, we were going to create up here this UI image. So let's just create a var, and let's just call it photo image view. And it is of type UIImageView. And now we need to just go back here. We need to get a frame. This is very important. In order to create a UI image view and also any other view, we have to declare what kind of frame it has. So, and as you can see, it requires a cgrect make. So here what we're going to do is we're going to determine the coordinates of this UI image view, meaning that we're going to say where it should start on the x-axis and on the y-axis, and how big it should be, like the width and the height. So let's just say we're going to start off with 40, and it should be 200 and 200. Good. So now we have our UI image view. So let's just make sure that we can also use it, and I'm going to remove this comment here because we don't need it. In order to make sure that this UI image view is actually displayed, we also have to tell the operating system that there exists one, and this UI image view should be displayed on top of a view that already exists. So and then you have to declare it in this method here. As you can already see, view did load, so you already have a view, and here when it's done loading, it should also make sure that the other UI image view is loaded as well on top of it. So, and in order to do this, we have to write down something that is self view add sub view. And what is our sub view? In this case, as I told you, it's placed on top of it. It is a photo image view. And here And there you go. Now we got it done here. So now let's just compile it. Let's just check out whether we did everything correctly. Yeah, so the UI image view is now correctly displayed on top of this here. But you cannot see it right now because it is transparent to you. So in order to make sure that we can also know that it really exists, we can also provide a background color to this UI image view. And in order to do this, we could also do it here in our viewDidLoaded function. And let's just use our photo image view background color. And there also exists something which is called UI color. And this class UI color also has different properties. In this case, let's just use green color. So now let's just compile and let's just check out whether we have our green color. Ah, there you go. So you see we have this UI image view and we have a background color which is green. However, as you can see, there is a problem here because we have our button and our UI image view, and this UI image view is unfortunately on top of it, so it doesn't look good at all. So we need to change the coordinates for this UI image view. So let's just go back and let's just change it. As a result, let's just go down to 80. Let's just compile it again. Oh, let's just go down a little bit more. 120. So that looks better right now. For your own project, you can also change the coordinates in general, where you want to place it and how big it should be, whatever you like, you just name it. But in this case, for this tutorial, this is sufficient. Let's just use these coordinates. Good, so now we know that this works here, and we also have a UI image view. However, let's just close it here. In our case, we don't need this background color. So we just remove this line of code here. And let's just compile again. And so you see, we removed the background color. Now, we made sure that we have a UI image view placed there, generated there, and it is ready to be used. So, as I told you previously, we need to make sure that we actually retrieve the image from the photo library and we display it within this photo image view. How do we do this? So first of all, we already have our variable here, our photo image view, and we can copy paste this here and we can work with that. So bear in mind that a UI image view also contains a property that is called image. So this is actually where we make sure that the photo image view is filled with an image. So, and now we have to declare where do we get this image. So we get this image from a parameter where it's called info. So we have this info here. This is an object. So, and in order to be sure that it is actually not any object, because any object doesn't work in this case, because our photo image view has a property that is called image, and it also expects an object of type UI image. If we give it any other object, then the whole application may crash, and we don't want this to happen. As a result, let's just use here an image, and we have to write down a UIImagePickerController PickerController original image, exactly, that is it. And now we have to cast it to as UI image. So, and this here, this question mark here, make sure that this casting here does not result in a nil object, because if you also give this photo image view a nil object, the whole app may also crash, or it's not going to be displayed in general. So this is something that we don't want to happen. So let's just write down this here. Furthermore, what we also need to make sure is that the view control that is displayed with the selection of the different photos is closed. So we have to write down self dismiss view controller animated false and just use no. Good. So then we're actually done with it. Let's just compile it and check out how it works. Let's just click on photo library, select the photo, and there you go. So you see now the image you just selected is displayed within your UI image view. Let's just go back, select another one like this here, and there you go, you have the other one here displayed. So if you like this video, leave thumbs up on it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to see more tutorials in the future. Like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And don't forget, stay tuned.